Hello. Today we are going to be working on our 1-point perspective names. So the past few weeks we have been drawing a 1-point perspective streetscape. And similar to this streetscape, we are going to be having a vanishing point, and then shapes or the letters to our names are going to have receding lines that lead to our vanishing point. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. Another thing to think about is lesson 1 for our perspective unit was to create these shapes floating in space. So we drew our 3 squares, we drew our 3 triangles, and then from the corners we drew a line to our vanishing point. Then we drew our parallel lines to close off our 3D shape and make it look 3D and put in perspective. So on your Google Slides, you also have written instructions. So the first step, it says to make either squares or rectangles for each letter of your name. Now, if you have a really long name, maybe choose a nickname. You could choose a middle name. Maybe you just want to choose a word, like maybe you want to just write a word like love, Love. Maybe you, like I said, you have a nickname, so my name is Nicole. So if I don't want to do 6 letters, maybe I would just write Cole, Cole. So you kind of decide what you want to put for your letters to make it easier on you. You also get to decide maybe what kind of shapes you would like. You could do the shapes at the bottom, maybe you even have a few shapes at the top. So, I actually chose to do 6 letters for my first name. I did Nicole, and then I chose a few simple shapes. You can kind of decide what shapes you want, and I'm going to do a quick video to show you how I got here. So, to make the video go a little faster, I already drew my rectangles and squares. So at the top, I would just draw rectangles and squares for each letter. Knowing that I have 6 letters, I did 6 boxes. The next step I want you to think about, on your Google Slides, there is a slide with these letters. This is going to be very helpful to take out the positive space and negative space in your lettering. So the first letter for Nicole would be N. So all I need to draw are these 2 triangles. So I'm going to go in this box and just make those 2 triangles. Beautiful. Now I need an I, so I look at it, okay, I just need to draw those 2 rectangle shapes. C, so this worksheet or on your slide is going to become very helpful in creating your lettering. Okay, I need to make like a rectangle and then a circle. Cool. O. And I like this sharp edge, so then we can use the corners to bring to our vanishing point. The middle, though, can be a circle. L. So I'm going to look at that shape. So if you just want to watch this video first, you can, or if you want to pause it and draw your lettering in now, that would be a good time. Maybe you need to draw your boxes in. Maybe pause right here so you can catch up to this part. Beautiful. Okay, after you've drawn your letters, you're going to take an eraser. So this is a good part to have an eraser. And I'm going to erase the lines that don't make up my letter. So I'm going to erase part of those boxes. So I would draw light throughout this drawing because you will be erasing things. The boxes were just a great way, so you have corners on all of your letters, and a great way to make like bubble letters, even though they're more geometric. Okay, the next step, I want us to find our vanishing point. So you can kind of decide, but pick somewhere in like the middle area, right? So the middle of our page. So I'm going to choose maybe like right here. So just like we did for our one perspective streetscapes, now I'm going to take my ruler and line up my corners with the vanishing point. So I line up my corner, vanishing point. I'm going to move it a little bit, line up my corner, vanishing point. And I'm just going to do the ones at the bottom right now. Make sure you draw light in case you make a mistake. So for my C, each corner or each edge point, so there's quite a few over here for the C. Oops, that wasn't perfect. That's okay. So this part might take you a little while. Alright, that one goes through my letter, so I'm not going to do that one. Okay, my O. Make sure you line up your ruler. Once again, this one would go through my letter, so I'm not going to worry about that one. If it goes through your letter, you don't have to draw it. And right now, like I said, I'm just doing the bottom closest to my vanishing point. Okay. Yay, it looks so cool already. Okay. Now let's do the tops right here that are closest to my vanishing point. So I'm just going to go kind of on the edge of my circle. Like that. So now it looks like it's kind of like shooting in space, right? If you wanted it to be a cylinder, you could draw this like that if you wanted, but you don't have to. Plus, you might be doing different shapes than me, and that's okay. So I'm just going on the edges. Closest to my vanishing point. I'm going to worry about the outside after, especially because some of this might get overlapped, and if we're using overlap, then I want to know what's in front. Like this right here, overlap. So I'm just going to draw it to my lightning bolt. Alright, the next step is to go on the top parts and to create our receding lines to our vanishing point. Remember, if it goes through the letter, you won't have to draw it. So I'm going to go to my N. So that's about it for that, because it goes through the drawing. Okay. That would go through the letter. This I can bring down, but then it stops. My C, edge right here. Okay. The top of my O. And it might be easier, as you can see, there's a lot of lines. So maybe if you did a nickname or a shorter word than 6 letters, just to make it less confusing. Alright, that goes through my L, so I'm not going to do that because overlap tells me this letter would go in front. Okay. And then maybe just my star right here, but that tells me overlap. And then these also are gonna be overlapped, but I can draw it like that. Okay. Beautiful. Alright, so that is our goal for today. To make your rectangles or squares, to use your lettering to cancel out some of that space, erase those lines, and then take our corners to our vanishing point to make it look 3D. I'm excited to see your work. Have fun, and I'm always here to help you.